ఇది కొంచెంసేపు నువ్వు చూడమ్మా, ఇది కూడా తీసుకో, ఏదైనా వస్తే పక్కన మాట్లాడు, నేను స్పీచ్ ఇచ్చే వరకు ఉండు.
Good evening, one and all. I am Jagdishwari, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of CSE, BVRIT Hyderabad College of Engineering, Hyderabad. A warm welcome to all the dignitaries and participants for the inauguration of 5-day online faculty development program on advanced data science and its applications, held from 22nd June to 26th June 2020, organized by the departments of CSE and IT of BVRIT Hyderabad College of Engineering for Women, in collaboration with Reach Out Analytics. I'd like to welcome our chief patrons, Sri K.V. Vishnu Raju, Chairman, Sri Vishnu Educational Society; Sri Ravichandran Rajgopal, Vice Chairman, Sri Vishnu Educational Society. I welcome our dynamic and ever-supporting principal, Dr. K.V.N. Sunita. Thank you, madam, for all the encouragement extended for organizing this FDP. Let me introduce the convener of this FDP, Dr. C.H. Srinivaslu, Professor and Head of the CSE Department. I welcome the resource person of this FDP, Mr. K. Venkatrao, Vice President Data Science, Reach Out Analytics. Let me introduce the coordinators, Dr. G. Nagasatish, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, Dr. L. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE. Let me introduce our beloved principal, Dr. K.V.N. Sunita, who is the founder principal of BVRIT Hyderabad College of Engineering for Women. She has 30 years of teaching experience, 13 years of research experience. Ma'am has authored 5 textbooks, guided 10 PhD scholars, received 68.5 lakhs of research grant from DST. Madam has more than 180 research papers and many awards to her credit. Madam recently received Engineer of the Year 2019 award by IEI Telangana in 2019. Madam received Acharya Ratna National Award for Lifetime Achievement 2019 by Indian Server. May I now request our dynamic principal to address the participants. Madam, please.
Good evening, all of you. On behalf of BVRIT Hyderabad College of Engineering for Women, my warm welcome to all the participants for this online 5-day FDP on advanced data science and its applications. I am very glad to note the huge response for this workshop. 1649 registrations, 23 states, 4 countries, India, USA, Indonesia, Ibra, and Iraq, and 116 colleges. I really appreciate the interest and enthusiasm of each and every faculty for participating in this workshop. As you all know, data science is now considered to be the 4th paradigm in scientific discoveries. There is a huge research potential as well as bright job opportunities in this area. Hence, to groom the faculty, to help the faculty to gain more expertise in this area, this FDP is planned. I am glad to share that this year we are even going to offer MTech Data Science in the campus. I thank the resource person, Mr. K. Venkatrao Garu, Vice President, Reach Out Analytics, for accepting our invitation for giving all the sessions for this FDP. I am sure this FDP is going to be very interesting because there are a lot of case studies are going to be discussed in this FDP. As a founder principal, before I conclude, I would like to give a brief note about my college. BVRIT Hyderabad is the youngest college started by Sri Vishnu Educational Society in the year 2012 to build it as a sanctified abode for women empowerment and human values. Within 8 years of inception, the college could become one of the best preferred women engineering college in the state of Telangana. We offer 4 branches: electronics and communication, electrical and electronics, computer science and engineering, and information technology. This year, we are going to offer BTech Artificial Intelligence and MTech Data Science also. All the programs offered are even accredited by NBA for 3 years, and the institution is NAAC accredited recently with A grade. I am very happy to share that though this is the youngest college, we were able to get MHRD NIRF ranking in the 200 band. Last year, our NIRF ranking was 147. It was the first eligibility wherein we could get 147, and this year it is 199 rank. I'm glad to share that our students are very fortunate from the beginning to have mentorship programs in topmost MNCs like Microsoft, Qualcomm, Amazon, and Flipkart. Placement record starting being 30 lakhs in Amazon and average pay package being 4.2 lakhs. Dear participants, enjoy your time. Wish you good luck. Have a happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Department of CSE was established in 2013 with an intake of 60, subsequently increased to 120 and then 180. Department is accredited by NBA for 3 years and is equipped with 6 labs with state-of-art infrastructure and has 28 experienced and dedicated qualified faculty members. Our college is collaborated with Talent Sprint and started an exclusive program called Women in Software Engineering WISE to impart sound technical skills and ensure the students to get equipped for jobs in IT and product-based companies. May I now request the convener of this FDP, Professor and Head of the Department CSE, Dr. C.H. Srinivasu Garu, to address the participants.
Thank you, Madam. Good afternoon, all the participants. Warm welcome to the 5 day of FDP, Advanced Data Science and Applications. It's a huge response we received from different states. Almost 1,649 registrations we received from 23 states and 4 countries. Thank you very much for registering us for the valuable workshop. So hope this 5 days workshop will help you to enhance your skills. Happy learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Goal is to turn data into information and information into insight. Hence, it is important to bring awareness among researchers and academicians and train manpower research work on advanced data science and its applications. This FDP focuses on advanced data science program with multiple tools like Python, R, Weka, SPSS with different case studies. I welcome all the participants who have enrolled for this online FDP on advanced data science and its applications from various states of India as well as abroad. FDP will be live through Zoom and YouTube, which is already shared to you in WhatsApp groups. Attendance form and quiz will be circulated through WhatsApp groups at 5 p.m. every day. Final quiz will be conducted on the last day of FDP. All the participants are requested to submit daily quizzes, final quiz, and feedback form that will be circulated on the last day to receive the e-certificate. All the participants are requested to mute themselves when the session is live. Q&A will be addressed at the end of the session. Let me now introduce the resource person for this FDP, Mr. K. Venkatrao, who has 21 years of strong experience in data science, machine learning, AI, advanced business analytics as an alumni member of IIMC ISI. His expertise lies in building descriptive, predictive, prescriptive models and interpreting results and business problem solving and turn those insights into action by creating predictive analytic business solutions. Currently, Mr. Venkatrao is working as Vice President for Reach Out Analytics. He has many awards and achievements and research papers to his credit. May I now request Mr. Venkatrao to take over the session. Sir? Sir, you can take over the session. Sir, you can start now.
Yes. Hi, good morning. Good evening, good afternoon for all the participants. Thank you very much, madam, for giving opportunity to deliver advanced data science subject. Thank you, participants. Thank you very much for all. Thank you, Srinivas sir, for giving this great opportunity to deliver the data science, machine learning and AI subject. This is a 5 days workshop. It's a complete practical implementation. People are crazy about the data science, at the same time scaring about data science. It's a crazy, but it's not a scaring. This 5 days complete beginning to ending project life cycles and implementation we will do. So before that, the highlight of the program, five real-time projects we are using with the help of Python, R, Weka, SPSS, Excel, and SAS. I'm sure majority of the people are aware of Python and R, Weka, and less people are aware of Weka and SAS and SPSS. Those are all the market leaders. Some of the tools are commercial tools, some of the tools are open source tools. So the banking sector, some other telecom sectors, it's a confidential data. They're not willing to go for open source tools. At the same time, there is no tech support for open source tools also. So with the combination of commercial and open source tools, we can implement it. SPSS. Then why Microsoft Azure ML? Then why SAS Corporation Business Intelligence and Data Science tools? One tool can't fulfill the tasks. Multiple tools are implementing these tasks. Okay, if you see the data science life cycle, the process looks like this. There is a business user, there is a business analyst, there is a data scientist, IT person. Majority of the people are thinking it's an IT job. Of course, it's an IT job. For developing products and services for whom? Product-based companies only. The product-based are banking sector, automobile sector, all of beta core subjects is the domains. You take an example of one bank manager, one banking sector. This COVID time, the banks are unable to collect their EMIs. People are becoming defaults. You should know what is the root cause for becoming defaulters. If you are making defaulters continuously, that is a machine learning. Finding the root cause of the defaulters, why these people are becoming defaulters, root cause effects, that is a prescriptive analytics. The data science has three parts: descriptive, predictive, prescriptive. If you go for a hospital, the doctor will take a description. He's describing what happened yesterday, what you were taken yesterday, what you are eaten yesterday. So based on your problem, he's trying to predict your disease. For predicting, doctor need a sample, but the scientist need also sample. That is a blood sample, he needs a data sample. Yes, the data scientist many people are thinking the data scientist is working with the big data. No, absolutely wrong. Small data. Big data means I have 10 TB data. The 10 TB laptop is available. It's not available. The 20 TB server is available. In small companies, it's not available. Take a small piece of the data, examine the data, it's becoming a sample. Based on the sample behavior, estimate what is the population behavior. That is what exactly data science role. That's the data science roles and responsibilities. So here, what is the business problem? The business problem, the people are becoming defaulters. Why? What is the reason? So according to the business problem, identify the data. Suppose if it's a credit card default amount, collect the data which is related to the credit card. Not an automobiles, not an debit cards, not an house loans data. Once you have a data, according to the data, prepare it, explore it, finding the patterns of the data. Once the data preparation is done, you should know how to explore it. Data exploration. Why the data exploration is required? It is called EDA part. What kind of content is available in this data exploration? Complete mathematics statistics is required. The mathematics statistics which means it's not academic kind of mathematics. You are not writing any formulas with pen and paper. System is doing all this calculation. R is doing, Python is doing, Excel is doing, SAS is doing, many tools are doing. Just you should know where to apply, when to apply, why to apply. Now, once the data preparation is done, then you can go for data transformation if it is required. Why the data transformation? Square root transformation, log transformation, all the mathematical algebra kind of things for making reducing of the errors. Then build a model. What model you are doing? The doctor is predicting what kind of disease you have. So who is becoming defaults in the banking sector? Who is migrating one domain to another domain? Is a HR attrition models. If you're making automation of this one, you are the machine learning and the AI. If keep on you're giving solutions for the business problems, it's a business analyst. If you're doing experiments on this data, scientist. Now the business analyst, data scientist, there is a correlation. There is a significant association. Just a business analyst is action, data scientist is overaction. Why I'm saying it's overaction? You have to do the multiple experiments for getting the single problem solutions. How can you get the multiple solutions? By experiments only. What kind of experiments? What you are doing during the experiments, you are applying a lot of machine learning algorithms. I will explain those details of, I will explain those machine learning algorithms. Once your model is built, then deploy the model, validate the model. Who can deploy? Who can validate? IT person can validate it. Okay, now people are crazy. The people are thinking it's only for the IT job, only for the computer science, only for CSE. No, anybody can do it. Only positive attitude and keep on practice with the programming tools. Understanding business domain knowledge is most important. There is a 10 questions. Raise the business question. How to raise the business question? As a fresher, are you going to raise the question? No. You should be an experienced person. What is the question here? 2020 November, Apple launching 11X Pro. Predict who is the buyers. Who is going to buy? Based on the demographic data, you can predict it. Demographic means gender-wise you can predict, age group-wise you can predict, marital status-wise you can predict, and religion-wise also you can predict, employment, nature of employment, and occupation-wise also you can predict it. So for predicting that, hypothesis is assumption. Assume, yes, engaged people are buying. Assume it. Doctor also assuming initially. For the assumptions, proving that assumption, you have to fix alternative hypothesis. Those are all statistical mathematical keywords. For proving alternative hypothesis, access the data, connect the data as per your business problem, which is relevant data. Once you have a data, clean the data, validate the data, wrangling the data. It is called data scrubbing, data cleaning, data validation, data imputation. So many things are there. Then apply EDA analysis. So after finishing 4 steps, if you are applying EDA analysis, it's becoming visualization, summarization, which is knowing about yesterday. For knowing about yesterday, apply business visual techniques. The Tableau tool, Power BI, Spotfire, Pentaho, Excel Miner, many tools are helping.
Venkataraman sir,
data.
Sorry to disturb you. Are you sharing your any PPTs?
Shall I share it right now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can I share it? Can I share it right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Can I share it now or after finishing class?
You can share it now, sir.
Okay. Can I have mail ID? Can you send? Can you?
Screen sharing, sir. Screen sharing of your PPTs.
Okay.
Yeah. While you are presenting, screen sharing of your PPTs.
Okay. I got it now. I'm sorry. Screen sharing. It's a disabled mode for me right now. So can you suggest me how to do this? Video setting, interactions.
Sir, are you able to share now?
Yeah, you can share now.
Yes. Okay, sir.
So, yes. Can you able to see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Okay. Yes, somebody is writing. Yeah, yes. Okay. This is what I'm showing. This is what I explained just now. Can I proceed it, Srinivas?
Yes, sir, you can proceed.
Okay, just a minute. Yes. So now I will repeat it. Identify the problem as per the business question. My problem is people are becoming defaulters. I should give the solutions for my end user. Identify the data as per the business problem. Prepare the data as per your requirements. Once the data preparation is done, explore the data, visualize the data, analyze the data, summarize the data for understanding what happened yesterday. That is called descriptive statistics. After completion of descriptive statistics, go for the model building. During the model building, we are applying all machine learning algorithms. So once the model has been successfully implemented, validate the model, then deploy the model. Once you deployed, that is live data. The live data you can deploy for existing loans data. In this existing loans data, you can predict who is becoming defaulters, who is becoming non-defaulters. Once I know the defaulters list, I can give to the collection agents, then collection agents can get the recovery amount from the participants, from the loan people. So for that, I'm using one case. This is the case study. Is it visible to all? Srinivas Garu? Can you able to see this data?
It's visible.
Yes. So now, this is the historical data. It's not a live data. So last time, 2009, same economical crisis happens. Economical crisis happens. It's also one kind of crisis this time. Now, based on the past historical data, which is yesterday data, you predict who is going to be defaulters. The future data looks like this. The bank issued loan for lakhs of people, but randomly they provided 13,000 records only. They are testing us. You please predict first these 13,000 members. Once you are believing, then we will give the full project. So this is the account numbers. They're not giving full account numbers. If I know if they're giving account numbers, then my employees will be resigned. They will start working on this employees data. So this is the same transactional data. Additionally, we have demographic data and all their behaviors data. So based on the fast transactional information, you have to predict who is becoming defaulters. This is the one case study for coming 5 days. This is one case study. See, 2009, 2004, 2009, they issued loan. The tenure completed in 2014. Now, bank knows who is a good customer, who is a bad customers. Bank knows who is the defaulters. Based on that, whoever received loan 2015 to 20, I'm going to predict the defaulters. This is the one live example which I'm going to do for maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Right, we are predicting. This is called DM CRISP model process. Every data science process is this one. Who can do this one? Either business analyst, either data scientist, not IT person. IT person is deployment role. Now the startup companies are expecting all the knowledge from the single person. So that's why IT people are crazy, because IT people are strong in programming. If the person knows programming, he should know the data science, he should know the business problem. That single person can do all this process. In the top companies, 3 employees can fulfill the data science project. The person must be strong in programming. The person must be strong in business knowledge. The person must be strong in aptitude thinking for implementing data science subject. You Google it later on, you can identify CRISP model process. DM CRISP process means you can get the process. You can see the process. This is data mining process. Understanding business, data understanding, data preparation, modeling, evaluate, deployment. I will show one more interesting document. Rutgers University, they have data science program. Everybody can access this one. Anybody can access this one. You see the structure. Basically, it takes minimum 2 years time for freshers, 3 months time for experienced people. For professor levels, 5 days is enough. Of course, all are the professor levels means 5 days is enough to understand this. Practice is in your hands. So this is the introduction of the data science. Identify the problem, prepare the data, explore the data, model the data, evaluate the data, deploy the data. During the data preparation, after data preparation, what is exploration? Which data you are picking? As per the business problem, you have to pick it. Either connect with the server, either access the data from the third-party source, or else take a data into your server. Then you can implement it. You can start the experiments. I'm sorry. The data scientist is always focusing on 2 things. One is you should know about yesterday, you should know about tomorrow. One is knowing about yesterday, another one is knowing about tomorrow. Knowing about yesterday is descriptive statistics. Knowing about tomorrow is predictive modeling. Optimizing of the things is prescriptive modeling. That is the same doctor terminology. Descriptive, predictive, prescriptive. If you go for the medical shop person is asking, show me your prescription. The prescription doctor will give based on your density of the problem. Now you are suffering with the fever. 100 ml is required, 20 ml is required. Depends upon age, they are giving either 20 ml or 100 mg or 200 mg. That 100 mg, 200 mg is optimization. For getting at least mg is a prediction. So why should I use this medicine is a descriptive. The doctor need a blood sample. You need a data sample. If you go for any hospital, sample is there, not a population. Now the data scientist is working on always sample data, not a population data. Based on the sample, you have to predict how the population is behaving. So for that, predictive models, the models has regression, clusterings, classifications, and functionals. If now I'm sending this link to everyone, later on you can practice on it. You can read on it at least. I will send to Dr. Srinivas. Srinivas will share all this information. Rutgers University MS Data Program Life Cycle. Come to our presentation. The point how to raise the problem according to the business problem. As per the problem, frame the hypothesis. Hypothesis is a mathematical and statistical function. Once the hypothesis is defined, access the data as per the relevant business problems. Once you're accessing the data, you should know how to clean it, you should know how to validate it, you should know how to scrub it. Data scrubbing, data wrangling, data imputation, data validation, data cleaning, all are the same. If you're a business analyst, no need to go for the modeling, just to explore the data with visualization tools like a Tableau, Spotfire, Pentaho, Power BI, and IBM Watson, such kind of tools. Now the business analyst role, that is knowing about yesterday. What happened yesterday? But we need a future. The future is deep learning, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So how to apply those techniques? Why we are applying those techniques? For predicting what happens tomorrow. So apply the suitable concerned ML techniques. Then later on, visualize it again. Who is the defaulters? Out of the 13,000 customers, who is becoming defaulters, and what is the cause for the defaulters? Whenever your model is defined, whenever you are believing your model is accurate, more optimized, then deploy the model. What is the deployment? Deployment is a running server data. There is huge data. Up to 1 to 8 steps, you are building a model on sample data. Then to the mission, give the training. The mission is understanding your inputs. Then it's trying to predicting what happens for the future data. That is a deployment. Whenever the deployment has happened, take a feedback of your data. So that is the process of data science. This process, Rising, looks like this. Predict who is the buyers. Yes Bank, due to Corona economic crisis, the bank, more defaulters are there. Who is becoming a defaulters 2021? Predict them for more recovery. During the COVID time, for increasing the immunity, who will buy mutton and more immunity power items? You have to predict it. Why people are buying beers and diapers together? You predict them. It's a data mining problem. So now US target group, they predicted whether you are giving birth by boy or girl. They predicted based on the ML techniques, based on machine learning techniques. How it is possible? So as a data scientist, what you have to do? Because majority of the people are computer science people, they're strong in programming. For your programming skills, if it is added, it's becoming a very, very helpful for the industries. Because people are scaring about mathematics and statistics. Don't feel about this. Forget about this fear. The tools are doing all the calculations. You are not doing. You should understand where to apply, when to apply, why to apply. The way of creating hypothesis looks like this. Now my client given requirement, I have engaged database, predict from this engaged database who is becoming who will buy iPhone. Example, Universal Cell is there. Universal Cell. Universal is one of the South Indian topmost dealer. Majority of the data they received from young people, not old people. So their target customers is young people. Now hypothetically you are assuming 25 people will buy. If you're confidently, no need to do any models. You can go and sell to them directly. But it's not like that. Just a minute. Okay, it's not like that. You have to do the experiment on those data. There is a large data inside. You take the data from the server, whatever the data is there, pick a sample, explore the sample, validate, build a model of the sample, then deploy the phone who will not buy the phone. The way of giving business problems, how to fix the hypothesis, this is the concern. So now, so can you stop writing of this one, please? Somebody is writing. Okay. See, rise the problem. How to rise the problem? Like this, you can rise the problem. What next? The next one is identify the relevant data. How to find out the relevant data? You can connect with the metadata servers. You can connect with the data warehousing servers. You can connect with the Hadoop clustering systems also. Once you have a data, the data process looks like this. The data process looks like this. Who can provide this information? ETL person, data warehousing person, nowadays data process engineer, nowadays Hadoop and architecture they can give. But Hadoop person is not a data science. Big data person is not a data science. Who knows this algorithm? They are the data scientist along with this data warehousing tools. NoSQL is a Hadoop, SQL is a data warehousing. Whatever it is, either structured data, unstructured data, you should know how to predict the information. So once the information is ready, the information looks like this. It is a image data. It is a text data. This is image data. How the data converting into matrix? If you are using Python, NumPys is required. Pandas is required to making matrix. I will show this data. I will show the data. This year, this time, our company did a lot of projects from the last 4 months. Among them, one is a BBC. These are all the projects which we did. Even COVID also we did a project. During it's month of the March month. March month also we did one project for Delhi University people. So we're getting all this data from the client. I will show one example data. This is the BBC. BBC receiving so many mails, which is a political related, which is a science related, which is a crime related, and entertainment related, and other political related. They're receiving mails like you are receiving spam or harm mails. Now we did automation for those mails. As per the content, it's going for political science box and crime box and some other box like this. This is the data. You have to apply deep learning techniques and machine learning techniques. Then you predict which is whatever the file you're receiving tomorrow, you predict whether it's a science file or political file or entertainment file. This is the data. You see how much data is there. The data looks like this. Too much data, so much data is available. Convert this data into your 10th class mathematics matrix format. That is a NumPys. Whenever you are converting into matrix format, then you can apply variance and covariance and other statistical techniques to predict, to visualize, to forecasting, to estimating of the future. And one more, this is one more case study for us. This is one case study. I will show the case study. One more case study. Cancer. You predict the cancer based on the image files. This image converted into RGB data, 5 megapixel image converted into RGB. I did this project for MIT University 2015. So this is the data. Followed by this data, you predict what is the level of the cancer stage. You have to predict what is the level of the cancer stage. This is the data. So practical implementation is most important. Many of the people are learning through YouTube. It's impossible. In YouTube, even I'm requesting to all. In YouTube, open heart surgery is also there, but we can't do the surgery for our relatives or our own people. That is always source, just for theoretical part only. Just for theoretical part only. So now, the way of taking data looks like this, which means as a data scientist, you should know how to process the data. You should know how to convert the data. Either text data, either image data, either files data, whatever it is. The first basic point is convert into matrix. That's why in Python, in R, matrix is required. Inverse matrix, proportion matrix, additions of the matrix, eigenvalues. Matrix covariance is required. If you're teaching basically matrix covariance in the first year people or some other people, later on they can understand why you are teaching all these matrices. In future, you are going to do such kind of actions. Once your data is ready, that is a target information for you. Based on the target information, you can take a fact-based decision making. The fact-based decision making, AI, ML, scientists can take it. So once you have a data, you should know how to summarize it. you should know how to visualize it, which is talking about yesterday. It is called descriptive statistics or EDA statistics. We are saying it's statistics. In future, for predicting the future, predict the target information, estimate the target information, forecast the target information. For doing all these 5 actions, one tool is not enough. You need multiple tools. That is Python, R, SAS, Veka, SPSS, and Excel. Today onwards, I'm focusing on Excel and SPSS. Tomorrow, I will go for the SAS, Python, and R. Day after tomorrow, SAS and Veka. I'm not giving complete knowledge, but at least I can give awareness through the practical implementation. The majority tools supporting for data science is Python, R Console, Ratil, R Commander, Veka, Ruby, Excel, SPSS, Base SAS, SAS Enterprise Guide, SAS eMiner, JMP, Tableau, and Spotfire, etc. tool. The top light blue color is the open source tools. The between is the commercial tools. Who can go for the commercial? Banking sector, clinical sector, confidential data. Wherever the confidential data, they're going for commercial tools itself. But the remaining techniques are same. Almost all 200 tools are available for implementing the data science project in worldwide, recognized by Harvard Business School. So we are requesting, don't focus on only Python. Focus on multiple tools. Because in Python, you can't do model optimization. You can't apply stepwise regression, backward regression, forward regression, dummy regression. Then how? How can I do the solution for them? I can do automation, machine learning techniques I can apply through Python, but I can't say what is the root cause for becoming defaulters. But the commercial tools are giving. That is all 2020 latest algorithms. I will show the list of algorithms. So, many people are confusing. Many people are, big debate is going on. What is a data scientist? Why the statistics is required for implementing the data scientist? 1970 to 2020, the journey of statistics to mathematics. 1959 to 1990, the people are saying it's statistics. 1959, ISI started in India. PC Mahalanobis with supporting by Jawaharlal Nehru, they started ISI in Calcutta. PC Mahalanobis is an alumni member. Dr. C.R. Rao is also a professor there. Dr. C.R. Rao, PC Mahalanobis is a establisher. PC Mahalanobis Shishya is the Professor C.R. Rao. Gachibowli Lingampal Road, Dr. C.R. Rao Road. The Dr. C.R. Rao Srinivas sir, can you check the voice? Some people are giving messages here. Messages. The voice is clear?
Yeah. It's clear, sir. You can
Very
go
good.
ahead.
Very good. So now for implementing the data science, there is a variety kind of models. Forecasting models, functional models, and classification models. Classification model is IIT, mathematics. Functional model is ISI, statistics. Forecasting model is IIM, economics. Simple economics, mathematics, statistics is called data science. If you cross-verify to me, just go and see the Gachibowli Road, Central University beside Dr. C.R. Rao Research Institute is there. 2007 only he started. Still is alive. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm correction. Dr. C.R. Rao Institute is there. Forecasting, functional classification. In 1990s, we are saying it's a time series. In 2010, we are saying it's analytics. 2020, we are saying it's a machine learning. 2020, we are saying it is a machine learning. 2021, we are saying it's the crazy biggest boozing word, artificial intelligence and deep learning. But the point is, in deep learning, RNN is there. It's a recurrent neural network. What is the recurrent neural network? For doing the time series only. 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 Ultimately, the functional model is never beaten. We are saying stats model using Python. For using the same thing, for using the same thing, for using the same thing. Excel and R you are using for implementing the same thing. Platform is changing. Just the platform is changing. I will show how the machine learning is easy nowadays. Just a second. How the days are easy. Just a moment. Clear all. Please aware of it. Teachable machine learning. It's launched by Google. Teachable machine learning. This is the teachable machine learning. This is the TensorFlow. Within second, you can do the predictions. Now I'm doing prediction. Just 5 minutes enough to apply models on TensorFlow. See, I'm using my webcam. There was error opening your webcam. Make sure permission is enabled to switch the mobile. Maybe I have to stop my video, then only I can access. Yes. So now I'm showing this is mobile. Hold it. I'm taking some sample data. I'm saying it is a mobile. Now take another data. This is bottle. And it is also bottle. Luckily, I have all this nearest to me. This is also bottles. You see how I'm doing prediction. I'm not doing, Google is doing bottle. Then trying to the mission. I'm giving training to the mission. Now can you able to see my video? So there is a mobile, there is a bottles. Train the mission. Now the data is preparing inside. The data is preparing. It's a training data. It's a training data I'm preparing. Now the data is preparing now. It's a 50 seconds. Now 30 different kind of images the taking, because whatever the images are there. Now the data is going on. Now there is error opening your webcam. Yes, because my webcam is open now. Now I'm stopping my webcam. Again, I'm retraining the model. Yes. Now, see the predictions, Dr. Srinivas, mobile and bottle. I'm showing mobile. What is the prediction? 97 is a
Mobile.
Yes. mobile. Now, what is this?
Prediction 97.
Yes, prediction 97% it's predicted, it's a bottle. It is a bottle. What about this? It is also 99% it's a bottle. That is the machine learning, that is the artificial intelligence. But you should know what is the inside of this one. When I'm exporting the model to Tensor, please guys, please professors, all the professors, TensorFlow image NumPy is there. Why the NumPy? Why the NumPy is for converting that images RGB data to numbers matrix. This is the numbers matrix. This is the images. Then these images are predict model dot for the data. Then why this normalization? Why you are doing all this normalization? That practical I will show it. Practically, I can show all these parts. Now, go to your presentation. Come to our regular presentation. See, years are changing. You feel 1950 you are using black and white mobile. The 2020 you are using just smart mobile. That's it. That options is ringing only. You are talking to someone. You make it easy. Don't make it complicated of this one. Because regression, logistics regression, prediction, deep learning, all are the same for predicting what happens tomorrow, which is called forecasting models, functional models, classification models. I will show the practical scenario, how the mathematics statistics linked with this data science. Come to here, statistics, central tendency, dispersion. What is the central tendency? Mean, median, mode, trimmed mean, geometric mean, weighted mean, upper mean, lower mean, confidential lower mean, geometric mean, hyper mean, maybe 9-6 variety means are there. What is the dispersion? Standard deviation, coefficient of variance, minimum, maximum, IQR, skewness, kurtosis, leptokurtic, platokurtic, mesokurtic, standard error, sample error, marginal error, so many are there. Those are all the statistics. Continuous distribution, discrete distribution, binomial distribution, Poisson distribution. From these distributions, dear guys, you can calculate expected mean, which is a mu, expected variance, which is a sigma. Even from the mathematical data also, you can calculate expected mean, which is a mu, expected variance, which is a sigma, which is called famous Bangalore company, mu sigma company. The mu sigma is for what? What happens for tomorrow? So without this point, how can you apply the deep learning models? It's impossible, highly impossible. If anybody is saying it's possible, definitely we can give Oscar award to them. Without all this process, if anybody is saying deep learning is easy, that means programming is easy. Who will calculate expected mean, variance? The green color is a mathematical, you are deriving from the mathematics. The blue color, you are deriving from statistics. You are deriving from the statistics. Simple. What is expected mean? X bar plus or minus 1.96 into standard deviation by square root of n. This is the formula. If you give build-up formula, summation of x by n plus or minus 95% of confidential interval into root of x minus x bar whole square by n square root of n. This is the build-up formula, crazy formula. No, it's very simple. Plus or x plus or minus X bar plus or minus 1.96. 1.96 is a Z-score T distribution. Every model is defining followed by this one, 1.96. This 1.96 X minus X bar by deviation, that is the standard deviation, that is the mean. You can calculate the expected mean. What is the variance? Variance is the square root of the standard deviation, is the variance for statistical data, numerical data. If it is a continuous data, expected mu. What is expected mu? It's a probability calculation. Expected mu is equal to x minus function of x whole square. Maybe I'm not sure. It's a similar. Then expected variance you can calculate. Whenever you that is why for the data scientist, ML person, DL person, statistics, mathematics is a very crucial important, not academic point of view, for implementation point of view. So from this expected mu and variance, you can fix hypothesis, you can do the t-test, you can do the z-test, you can do the double mean, you can calculate in hypothesis, you can calculate the chi-square, you can do the Waldo chi-square, we can do the pseudo R-square, we can do Croc-Snell, goodness of fitness. Those are all for the numerical data, categorical data. Those are all for categorical data. So now, this categorical data leads to logistics regression. The numerical data leads to linear regression. The regression formula alpha plus beta 1 into x1 plus beta 2 plus exponential plus error. The logistics formula 1 by 1 plus exponential of regression. Based on this two formula, the deep learning ANN, CNN, RNN is working. That's a sigmoid function of 1 by 1 plus exponential of x. That is the story of deep learning. But the people are scared. Okay, directly we want to go for the deep learning. They're missing this one. For understanding this 1 by 1 plus exponential of minus regression, you should know the regression. For understanding the regression, you should know the hypothesis, t-test, f-test, and ANOVA. For understanding hypothesis, t-test, and ANOVA, you must know the probabilities. For understanding probabilities, you must know the expected things. For understanding expected things, you know the central tendency like mean, mode, median. That is the basic elementary points. It is called EDA. That is what. Now you cross-verify it. You can understand what the top universities are suggesting, what the industry people are implementing. You can follow this one. See, what is this? Exploratory, explorer analysis, univariate, bivariate, categorical, numerical, mean, pie chart, min, max, mode, median, IQRs, skewness, kurtosis, histogram, box plot, chi-square, correlation, scatter plot, z-test, t-test, ANOVA. Then only you can go for regression models. Then only we can go for regression model. So now, of course, time is almost 1 hour. I will do one model. Just I will show one model. You see keep the mind, just keep it in mind, whatever the keywords we are receiving. I'm trying to do something. List of machine learning algorithms. List of machine learning algorithms. This is, you see, regression, logistics, random forest, naive Bayesian, KNN, and all. Every algorithm link up with these two only. These two strongly link up with your previous, whatever I showed, the previous subject. Okay, so today presentation. I will give answer for your queries. Thank you, Malleshwari. Thank you very much, ma'am, today attending the class. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Better to close chat open. Anybody, please. Anybody having questions? Sir, what is a TensorFlow? TensorFlow is one kind of platform like a Python. Google Colab, it's also one kind of platform. It's for the large data we are using. Purpose of the TensorFlow. TensorFlow is for complete implementation of the data science. Nice session, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Tomorrow onwards, we are doing practical implementation. Okay, just I showed some case studies. We'll have a discussion for tomorrow.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, participants are ready with their Q&A questions, sir.
Yes, please.
If any participant have any questions, please ask resource person directly.
Keras and TensorFlow both are, that's a libraries. TensorFlow is a platform, Keras is a libraries. For the data, what is AutoML? AutoML is you are doing automation of the product. It's a static product. So you're applying all the machine learning algorithms, you're running automation without human interface, it's working automatically.
Participants can unmute themselves and directly ask the questions.
Yes. What's the difference between the Python and Jupyter? Jupyter is a notebook, Python is a software. Python is like a programming tool. Through Jupyter, you can utilize the Python. For that, Anaconda is supporting. TensorFlow learning. TensorFlow is one platform like a Python, but it's working on the Python. You have to install the platform. Through that platform, you can install all the Keras and all. Thank you, Shravani. Yes, we are teaching all the major statistical things. Jayavani, we are teaching all this. What is a big data analytics? Big data analytics means large data, but analytics is a same regression, same time series, same modeling. But you are working with the large data that is coming under visualization part. What is the future of data science? It's amazing. The future of data science is very good. Madhuran, whenever the data is available, wherever the data is required for industries, your job will be there. If there no use of the data, no job. Dimensionality reduction. Yes, dimensionality reduction is a principal component, which is the one of the topmost algorithm for data pre-processing. I'm from computer science. What are the best tool for visualization? No best tool, only mindset. You should understand why the bar chart, Gopal Krishna. What is the best tool? Because day-to-day tools are coming and going. But you should know all the visual techniques. Bar chart, pie chart, bubble chart, heat maps, scatter plots, correlation plots, and blah, 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 something. Which is a better and R and Python? Python is a better, Vijay. Python is always better. Because Vijay Gupta, Python is a better than R. Because in Python, you can do deployments, you can do developments, you can do machine learning algorithms and all with robustness, with high speed. Dimensionality reduction between the regression and SVM. Yes, regression is the numerical predictions. SVM is also numerical prediction, but it's taken supporting with the distance of beta values. Here only beta 0 will come. In regression, beta 0 will come. In supporting vector mission, beta minus 1, beta plus 1 will come. That is called marginal errors. What is the maximum size of the sample size? 30 size is the sample size for predicting the overall population data worldwide. Minimum 30 for the data science. Maximum infinity. For CNN, what is the better? R or Python? Python is absolutely better for implementing CNN.
Difference between big data analytics and data science. What is the difference between big data analytics and data science?
Very good question. Big data analytics is a large data for direct without any predictions. You are doing analysis. That's a big data analytics. Data science, you are taking a piece of the data from the large data, then you are predicting what is the big data behavior. Because I don't have that much of capacity servers. That too, I can't stop the population data. The data is keep on increasing. Then how can I take a big data from to my server? It's impossible.
So what is support estimation?
Amazon server is there. Amazon, 24 hours people are buying products. 24 hours people are buying products. Is it possible to take the total population data into your server? No. Now the time is 5:17. If you're picking data, 5:17, 18 seconds, one more data is coming. So the best option, take a sample, random sample. So big data is a Ciranjeev Blood Bank. Small data science is a Apollo Hospital. If you go for
Python or not?
just a minute. If you go for Ciranjeev Blood Bank, they're taking your blood. Overall population. If you go for the hospital, they're taking sample. Based on the 1 ml sample, they're predicting what is the body behavior. The same thing is big data, data science difference. Yes, come on. Next question, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Which one is better, sir? Actually, I'm doing hyperspectral image classification.
Sorry?
Which one is... Actually, I'm doing research on hyperspectral image classification.
You're doing research on classification and?
Hyperspectral image classification, sir.
Okay.
Which one is better, sir? MATLAB or Python?
MATLAB is
because
better.
I have seen...
MATLAB is better, but MATLAB is taking a lot of space and a lot of time to implementing. Better to go for Python. If I'm in your place, I will go for the Python.
Because I have seen a lot of codes in Python only. If I search in the Google,
Yes, because either MATLAB or Python both are performing well, but only the point is you should identify the proper libraries. But in MATLAB, it is available default.
Okay, sir. Suppose if I'm installing, suppose if I'm using TensorFlow, it is asking GPU something like that.
You need always supporting tools. That too, for using TensorFlow, your system RAM should be minimum 16 GB. Then quickly you can do it. Instead of using TensorFlow, the latest one more tool is there, Google Colab.
Okay.
Google Colab is a TensorFlow only. Anybody aware of the Google Colab? Google Colab. Google is changing the entire world. This is the Google Colab. Okay.
This is better than TensorFlow.
Yes, Google Colab is a TensorFlow. So TensorFlow you can install in your machine or else utilize the Clyde server, Clyde services. The Clyde services are Google Colab.
Hello.
So now I provide data to my Google Colab. You see how the Python is working in the Google Colab. Yes, guys. Any other question?
Hello. Through Google Colab, we can work for only 12 hours. Can you suggest some other platforms where we can use the GPU?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. Google Colab, I can use the GPU for 8 or 12 hours, sir. I cannot use more than that.
Google Colab is
Then better to go for TensorFlow and Python.
No, I'm not asking for the frameworks. I'm asking for the GPU access through Google Colab.
GPU. You're asking about your system configuration?
No. I can use GPU through Google Colab for only 12 hours. Can you suggest any other platform where I can use the GPU for more than 12 hours continuously if I'm training for a good deep learning model?
The best option, but you have to buy the license through Amazon WNS.
Yes. Okay.
Because everything you can't expect a free.
One more question, sir. Understood, sir. One more question, sir. Nowadays, earlier, 3-4 years back, it's TensorFlow. Nowadays, people are saying that PyTorch is good. Which is preferable if I'm doing deep learning on text?
Latest is latest, madam, always.
Okay.
PyTorch. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Sir, my area is bioinformatics, sir. So, bioinformatics, sir.
Bioinformatics, very
yes,
good.
Sir. So, I'm working on the protein data set, sir. So, in which library deep learning is suitable, sir?
Which libraries you're asking?
Yes, sir.
For which algorithm you want to apply?
Algorithm. So, already many algorithms are used as CNN, RNN.
Then CNN RNN means definitely you can go for the neural network algorithms, TensorFlow and Keras.
Keras, sir. Python. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Python. Yes, those are all Python. See, I'm using unsupervised learning with TensorFlow, the same thing.
So random path test. What is random path test?
Sorry? What about the feedback link?
Random path test is then machines applications of machine learning.
I'm sorry, madam. Can you question again, please?
Random path test. Random path test.
Please have your question very clear, sir.
He's asking random forest.
Random forest.
Random forest.
Random forest. Random forest is a 10th class mathematics permutation and combination. NC factorial by N factorial.
Hello, sir.
Random forest is a 10th class mathematics N factorial, boosting and assembled model. If the data is very so here I'm using random forestry. I will do one case study for coming days. You can understand quickly. You can understand what is the random forestry. I will do the case study coming days.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir, good evening, sir. Sir, can you please give some code, the practical code running by using MATLAB, deep learning with CNN?
Okay.
Suppose if possible, can you please able to run up any code practically?
You need a code, right?
Yeah, I need a code with deep learning with CNN.
Okay. I will send it to Dr. Srinivas. He will help you. I will send it. You can take it. Yes,
okay.
Sir, for big data analytics, we have to use only Hadoop, or can we use something else also, like Python?
Hadoop. More than 150 tools are available for handling the big data.
Except Hadoop, can you tell something else?
ARN is there, Pig is there, Pentaho is there, IBM is there, Amazon, WN is there. So many tools are there. 150 tools are there. Hadoop is one peanut, because everybody is famous with the Hadoop, na? That's why. Parallelly, Hadoop, so many tools are there. Pig is there, Hive is there, Yarn is there, Scala is there, Spark is there. Many tools are there. Pentaho, IBM, Watson, those are all for handling the large scalable data.
Programming is done in Python. Can we use Python programming for that?
Madam, sorry?
Python programming. Python.
Yeah, Python programming.
Can we use for that genome data analysis? Python programming can.
For data analysis, for ML, we are using Python programming. You can use it. Always. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
By the same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Venkatra sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you all the participants for participating. So we'll share the feedback, question answers, and then timings, availability. We'll send by tomorrow morning.